At the Tabard's Tavern, a group of pilgrims meet on their way to Canterbury, each with a mysterious past and a secret to hide. As they share their stories, intrigue, betrayal, and forbidden love are revealed. Can they reach their destination without their secrets destroying them? The gentle April rains have penetrated the depths of the March drought and soaked all the vessels with enough moisture to engender the flower. The delicate breath of zephyr has quickened in the woods and fields of tender shoots, and the young sun has gone halfway through his journey in the sign of Aries. The little birds, which sleep all night with their eyes open, have begun to twitter, for nature awakens their instincts. At this time, people feel a yearning for pilgrimage, and pious travelers wish to visit distant lands and shrines in foreign countries. Especially from the remotest parts of the English counties, they come to Canterbury to visit the blessed and holy martyr who helped them when they were ill. One day, at that time of the year, at the Inn of the Tabard in Southwark, where I was staying ready to undertake my devout pilgrimage to Canterbury, a group of 29 people arrived in the evening. They belonged to various classes, had met by chance, and were on their way to Canterbury. The rooms and stables were comfortable, and we all received the most painstaking care. In short, by sundown, I had conversed with them all, and they had accepted me into the party. We agreed to get up early to set out on the journey, as I am about to tell you. In ancient times, legends tell us, there was a duke named Theseus, lord of Athens. There was no mightier conqueror under the sun, having subdued many rich kingdoms, and by his leadership and knightly valor, even the country of the Amazons, then known as Scythia. He married Hippolyta, his queen, and brought her to his country with great pomp and splendor, together with Amelia, his younger sister. As Theseus and his armed hosts rode victoriously towards Athens, to the sound of music, the Duke observed a group of women dressed in mourning, kneeling in a row along the road. Their wailing was so heartbreaking that nothing like it had ever been heard before. They did not cease their wailing until they managed to stop the Duke. "Who are you to disturb my return with your lamentations? Why do you complain, and does it trouble you that I receive these honors?" With a pale countenance and almost fainting, the older lady spoke. "My lord, to whom fortune has granted victory, we do not resent your laurels, but ask for help and grace. Pity our grief. Once we were duchesses and queens, but now, by fortune's treacherous wheel, we are the unhappiest of women." And so, with dawn, our party departed, with the tabard behind and adventures ahead. The knight, in his armor still gleaming, led the way, with his squire following close behind. In ancient Athens, ruled by the noble Theseus, two young knights, Palamon and Arcite, were locked in a tower after being captured in battle. They overlooked a garden from their prison where the beautiful Amelia, sister of Queen Hippolyta, used to stroll. One day, as the sun rose and the flowers unfurled their colors, both knights saw her for the first time and immediately fell in love with her. Palamon, with eyes like embers, exclaimed, "By the gods, that lady who walks in the garden is more radiant than the morning." Arcita, with a sigh that revealed her sorrow, replied, "Truly, her beauty surpasses that of the stars." The love for Amelia ignited a rivalry between the cousins, who until that moment had shared a fraternal bond. Palamon accused Arcita of treason for desiring the very woman he loved, while Arcita argued that his love had come first and that he was as free to love as any man chained by fate. "Damn these chains and this tower that holds us. His love imprisons my heart more than my body is by these walls. And I," replied Arcita, "am doubly held captive by the iron bars in his eyes." Thus, day after day, both knights languished in their prison, nurturing a love that seemed as unattainable as heaven itself. But fate, ever capricious, would soon weave new twists and turns in their lives. The story continues with Arcite, who, although released from prison, finds himself exiled from Athens. His heart, however, remains chained to the beautiful Emilia. In an act of desperation and love, Arcita returns to Athens in disguise, determined to be close to his beloved, even if it means living in the shadows. Meanwhile, Palamon, consumed by envy and desire, manages to escape from the tower with the help of a friend. Hiding in a nearby forest, he encounters Arcita. When they recognize each other, the tension between them explodes. "Traitor, Arcita, you have usurped my place, and now you intend to steal my love." Arcita, with her eyes fixed on her cousin, replies, "I am no traitor, Palamon. Love knows no laws or limits, and I will fight for Emilia until my last breath." The two gentlemen agree to a duel at dawn, away from prying eyes, to settle their dispute for Emilia's love. However, fate intervenes once again when Theseus, the Duke of Athens, discovers the cousins preparing to fight. Impressed by their passion and moved by justice, Theseus decides that the dispute will be settled in a public tournament where the winner will be crowned with Emilia's love. The great day had arrived. The city of Athens had gathered in the vast amphitheater, built by Duke Theseus for the occasion. The stands were adorned with rich tapestries and banners fluttering in the wind, while the crowd murmured with anticipation. In the center of the field, an altar was erected dedicated to Mars, the god of war, and another to Venus, the goddess of love, symbolizing the forces at play, combat and desire. The knights, Palamon and Arcite, entered the field from opposite sides, each under the blessing of his chosen divinity. Palamon, clad in blue and silver armor, invoked Venus. "O goddess of love, guide my lance and my heart that I may win the hand of my beloved Emilia." Arcite, in red armor and gold, prayed to Mars. "Great god of battle, lend strength to my arm that I may claim my beloved as my prize." The air was filled with the sound of trumpets and drums, announcing the start of the tournament. The knights hurled themselves at each other with a fury that shook the ground. Swords clashed and spears shattered as the combatants sought victory. The battle continued for hours, with Palamon and Arcite demonstrating equal skill and bravery. But when the contest seemed to never end, a twist of fate changed the course of events. Arcita, in a mighty charge, managed to bring Palamon down. However, a runaway horse struck him at the same instant, knocking him to the ground. The crowd fell silent, and Theseus ordered the tournament to stop. Arcita, gravely wounded, was brought before Emilia. With his last breath, he declared his eternal love and asked her to take care of Palamon. Then, closing his eyes, he gave up his spirit to heaven. The tournament had ended, not with the victory of one knight over the other, but with the tragic loss of a brave warrior. Palamon, though wounded in body, won the heart of Emilia and the sympathy of all the Athenians. The tournament was over, and Arcite, the brave knight, lay on the ground, mortally wounded. All around him, the crowd watched in silence while Emilia wept for the impending loss. Palamon, heartbroken by the tragedy, approached his rival and cousin. "Arcita, my cousin, my brother," Palamon said in a trembling voice. "What cruel twist of fate has brought us to this end?" Arcita, with her last breath, looked at Palamon and Emilia and said, "Love Emilia, Palamon, as I have loved her. May my death not be in vain, and may your love flourish in memory of me." With those words, Arcita gave up her spirit, leaving a void in the hearts of all present. Theseus, moved by the nobility of the knights, declared that Palamon would be Emilia's husband, thus honoring Arcita's memory. The outcome of this story teaches us about the ephemeral nature of life and how love and friendship can transcend even the deepest rivalry. Palamon and Emilia married, but they always remembered Arcite as the hero who, with his sacrifice, taught them the true meaning of honor and love. And so, with hearts full of mixed emotions, the pilgrims reflected on the story of the night. The tragedy of Arcita and the love of Palamon and Amelia echoed in the air, leaving a pause of silence. The host, observing the moment, decided it was time to continue the journey and the storytelling. Well, friends, life is full of unexpected twists and turns, just like the stories we share. May the next tale take us down paths of joy and laughter to balance the scales of fate. With a knowing glance at the miller, a man of joyful spirit and loose tongue, the host invited the next storyteller to take his place. And so, with the promise of a new story, the pilgrims prepared to hear the tale that would follow, one that promised to be as colorful and lively as the miller himself. This video was created for Mythology. Thank you for joining us on this journey.